Hey guys, Buffin Gaming here, bringing back another video for our weapon conversion series, and today we're going to be covering the MP510, which fires the 10mm auto round. So what we're going to be doing is converting the standard MP5, which fires the 9mm parabellum rounds, into the MP510 with a 10mm auto round. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So here's our finished product. We're going to go ahead and strip this down to the base MP5 here, and we're going to build this thing from scratch. So first off, what we're going to do is we're going to skip the muzzle. And for the barrel for this one, this is all really per how you want it. You can kind of customize this however you want. I like the monolithic integral suppressor. I like the look with the Picatinny rail on the handguard. So I'm going to go with that. Laser, we're going to skip out again. This is something if you're trying to hip fire mostly with this, then you can go ahead and throw a laser on there. Optic, we're going to go with the holographic sight. And then stock. Well, first off, let's get back to this. So the monolithic integral suppressor, what that's going to do is sound suppression and bullet velocity, while the con is your ADS speed. So we can accept that to heavy-duty monolithic core increase muzzle velocity while maintaining a low sound signature. So that's what that monolithic integral suppressor is going to do. The hollow standard combat sight stock, what we're going to want here is the FFS close quarters stock, so this is going to help us with our ADS speed. The cons is the aiming stability. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Rear grip we're going to skip. Ammo we're going to skip also, along with perks. And then the ammo for this, so the ammo we're going to skip perks and rear grip. Ammo, we want that 10mm auto 30 round mag, so this is going to turn the MP510 or the MP5 into the MP510. So the conversion kit to use higher caliber 10mm auto ammunition to increase stopping power. So obviously, we're going to get more damage with this, and we're going to get more range on the weapon. So the cons are the fire rate is going to be decreased because obviously we're firing heavier rounds, and then the aim and recoil is also going to be affected by this because of those heavier rounds. So we're going to go ahead and throw that on there. And then for the underbarrel here, we're going to want the Merc foregrip. So this is going to help with our recoil control and our hip fire accuracy. And based on just looking at this statistics for all of the different grips you have here, the Merc foregrip is by far your best choice no matter what you're trying to do with this. Your mobility and rate of fire, your mobility is down a little bit, but that's really it. Everything else is up. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and this is the final design. Again, a lot of this is personal preference. You can do kind of whatever stock you want. The barrel is personal preference as well. Really the key thing here is the 10mm auto rounds. I did like this design because it almost kind of reminds me of an MP or a UMP40 design, especially with those 10mm auto round mags. But again, this is the MP510. So this is the final version of the MP510. Pretty sexy looking, especially with that hollow sight. And it does look pretty similar to a UMP40 if we could get a different stock on there, but it is an MP510. So let's go ahead and get in game now. We're going to see the recoil patterns, and we'll also see how it performs against bots. Okay, so now that we're in game, let's go ahead and see how this thing handles with a recoil. So first off, we're going to fire, and we won't control the recoil at all. We'll just let it fire here and see what happens. So you can see it's up and to the right slightly, right? So now if we control the recoil, pretty tight. It definitely is bouncing horizontally a little bit, so it's not going to be just a straight vertical climb. It's definitely going to be bouncing horizontally. So you can put other attachments on there to mitigate that if you wanted, but it's still, that's pretty accurate at a good range. So up and to the right, not controlling it, and then it's pretty tight there if we're controlling it. If you're aiming at the body at a decent range, I think we'll be okay. So let's go ahead now and see how it performs against the bots. So you can see there, definitely puts them down quicker with those 10mm auto rounds. The rate of fire in real life on the MP510 is, let's see my character like can't run here. And the real rate of fire on the MP510 is 800 rounds per minute. So versus the MP5SD, which is 700, and the standard MP5, which is 900. So obviously we have an integral barrel on this for the monolithic suppressor, but that shouldn't affect our rate of fire at all. The other thing is obviously since we have those 10mm auto rounds, our rate of fire is going to be slower than the standard MP5 as in real life, 900 versus 800 rounds per minute.
Enemy at the bridge.
So you can see that the hip fire is not horrible either.
Better.
So the MP510 was developed in 1992 by H&K. Where is this guy shooting from? See how it is at range here. So if I tap fire there, it's okay, right? You can definitely make that work. And the damage definitely helps. So as I was saying, it was developed in 1992 by H&K. The FBI was really on like a kick for 10mm auto weapons in the early 90s. So this was developed mainly at the request of the FBI to fire the 10mm auto rounds. It was also a 40mm Smith & Wesson version that was developed as well. And it could utilize the same clip that we're using for the 10mm auto rounds. So if you look at this clip that we did, the same exact clip could take, or magazine, excuse me, could take the 40mm Smith & Wessons as well. So, this is the MP510. Performs pretty well. Definitely, if you guys have used it before in-game, you'll know that the damage is definitely higher with this versus the standard MP5. Obviously, you're just sacrificing your rate of fire for that. So again, you can control the recoil pretty easily. As I said, this was discontinued in 2003. There was a lot of problems with the MP510 and the 40mm Smith & Wesson versions of this weapon. So it was discontinued in 2003. However, H&K does still continue to support the weapon for parts, spare parts and things like that if someone has it and they're trying to get additional parts. So they will support it still. They just discontinued use because of the problems. The MP5 was initially designed to be a 10mm weapon. So that's why, I mean, they've developed the UMP versions, as we talked about, the UMP40 and the UMP45 already, specifically for those larger calibers. So that's kind of took over when the MP510 and Smith & Wesson were discontinued. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you like this weapon? Is this something you've used in game so far? Have you put the 10mm rounds on the MP5? And really, the only thing that makes this an MP510 is the 10mm auto rounds. You can go on basically any standard MP5. We just, for the design purposes, use some different attachments here. So let me know what you think below. Do you like this weapon? Have you used it? Also, be sure to leave your suggestions for weapons in the comments below. So anything else you want me to build going forward, I'll be building those as well. So be sure to leave your weapon comments down below for what you want, and we'll go ahead and build those. Also, be sure, if you haven't yet, to like and subscribe to the channel. Definitely helps out small channels like myself, and we've grown quite a lot in the past couple weeks, so I really thank you guys for that, continuing the support. Also, be sure to check out my Twitch channel in the description below, and check that out and subscribe to that one. We'll be live streaming over there as well as here on YouTube going forward, mainly on weekends, and try and get a weekday here and there when we can as well. So be sure to subscribe there and get notified when I'll be going live, as well as hit the bell icon on the YouTube channel. Just that way you're notified when I post a video if you're interested. You can see this thing just rips through people pretty good. It's definitely easy to use. Good close quarters weapon. You can make this probably even better if you wanted to adjust the ADS speed or the aiming stability of the weapon when it's firing. Get rid of that horizontal recoil that we're seeing here. Let's see. So that's a decent range right there. I mean, even though it's bouncing, it's still pretty on target right there. You can see that's a decent range for an MP510.
Chopper gunner, ready.
And it just rips through these people, right? It's about is that a 2 or 3 shot headshot there? See if we can see what the actual damage is. 1, 2, 3. Focus. I'm getting lit up though. So it definitely does a lot more damage, obviously, being those 10mm rounds. Darn. But definitely the slower rate of fire will affect you. As you kind of see there, my rate of fire was slower as well, as I didn't hit some shots. But versus the standard MP5, your rate of fire is going to be slower because of the 10mm rounds. Hip fire not bad. Again, if you wanted to mainly use this for hip fire and CQB combat, you'd probably want to throw on tac laser or the 5mm or one of those that will help you with the hip fire accuracy. But I am Buffner Gaming. This is the MP510.
Keep fighting. Personal radar drone ready.
I know a lot of you guys have been asking for this one, so I hope you like it. And until next time, Buffner Gaming, out.